This Civic Media podcast is sponsored by UW Organ and Tissue Donation. Organ donations are desperately needed, and now is the right time to become an organ donor. Talk to your family. Get the dot. Save lives. Go to heroicdeed.com.
This is your WXCO Daily News Roundup for Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 FM and 1230 AM in Wausau.
For WXCO News, I'm Brittany Merlot. A record number of travelers will be on the road and in the sky throughout the end of the year. AAA estimates over 119 million people will be traveling, with nearly 90% of them driving. Check out the Wisconsin 511 app for changing road conditions from the weather. With up and down temperatures, if you like to use salt when your sidewalk gets slick, experts say a coffee mug of salt is enough. It treats up to 10 sidewalk squares or an entire 20-foot driveway. And Santa took the time out of his busy schedule for an interview. Lisa Hale has the story.
Being Santa is more than delivering toys and eating milk and cookies. He said it's also helping children believe in themselves as well as jolly old St. Nick.
Santa wants you to listen to your mom and your dad and to do chores if you're giving them. Be good in school, have a good relationship with your friends, but most of all, love yourself and be kind to yourself, because kids today are pretty harsh on themselves sometimes.
And he's made his list and checked it twice. Santa's bags are packed and he's ready to fly in the sky, delivering gifts to all the good kids. The North American Aerospace Defense Command, known as NORAD, tracks the big man himself as he flies across the world. The tradition began 69 years ago as a fortunate mistake when a misprinted phone number in a Colorado newspaper connected a little girl to a NORAD colonel. Rather than turning her away, they shared Santa's location, sparking an annual event that now delights millions worldwide. You and your kids can follow jolly old St. Nick's progress tonight at www.noradsanta.org. And the same tools NORAD uses daily to protect the skies, such as satellite systems that detect missile heat signatures, are repurposed to spot Rudolph's glowing red nose. AAA says that a record-breaking 121,000 Wisconsinites are flying to their holiday destinations this year. If you're traveling today or over the next couple of days, make sure to give yourself plenty of extra time. Around 2 hours is ideal. If you want to get through TSA fast, don't wrap your gifts. If they get flagged, they'll be unwrapped there in the airport, taking up even more time. And if you're cooking the Christmas meal for your family, be sure to thaw your turkey or other frozen meat properly to avoid giving the gift of foodborne illness this holiday season. Melissa Kay has more.
Thawing a turkey on the counter is not safe because the outside layers of the bird can quickly enter the danger zone temperatures where bacteria like salmonella multiply rapidly. Refrigerator thawing is the safest. Allow 24 hours for every 4 to 5 pounds of turkey. Cold water thawing is quicker. Change the water every 30 minutes to keep it cold, and allow 30 minutes per pound to thaw. The last recommended method is your microwave if it's big enough.
And America's favorite Christmas desserts are on the table. Ranking in at number 3 is the pecan pie, pulling in 25% of the vote. Above that, apple pie at 27%. And taking the lead by a landslide, pumpkin pie, with 40% choosing that as their favorite this Christmas. Sugar cookies crumbled in 5th place, and gingerbread cookies came in 9th. The holiday season is particularly active for fire departments due to added decorative lighting, candles, holiday trees, decorations, and of course, increased cooking.
Cooking fires are always our number one cause for residential structure fires. All year round, it's a big deal, but particularly during the holidays, you have an increased amount of cooking. Perhaps you're using multiple appliances at once. You feel the rush. You might be a lot more distracted than normal with extra members, family, or friends in your household.
That's Appleton's Fire Department Public Information Officer Alex Quintana, adding that dry air, fireplaces, and dry holiday trees are another fire risk. And if you're looking for something unique to give, how about the history of Wisconsin? Here's Travel Wisconsin's Logan Rogie.
Maybe there's someone you know who really loves history. A great option for them is an annual membership to the Wisconsin Historical Society. History buffs will get free access to 12 historic sites and museums that are spread throughout the state, in addition to other benefits. They provide an option on their website to directly gift a membership.
You can buy an annual subscription on the Wisconsin Historical Society's website. And from Harshaw to Caledonia, Eau Claire to Green Bay, There are dozens of extraordinary holiday light displays on in the state. Marshfield has the Rotary Winter Wonderland at the Wildwood Zoo, and Harshaw has a Christmas Wonderland at Rondell Ranch. And if you don't mind a drive, in Eau Claire, there's lights in the valley at the Expo Center grounds. And of course, Oshkosh's Celebration of Lights will dazzle you at the EAA Museum. Like the song says, Merry Christmas to kids from 1 to 92. Santa says the Christmas spirit is in all, regardless of age.
You know, I was at a nursing home the other day, and there's Lily, 104 years old.
Oh, wow.
And Lily looked me in the eye and said, I've always wanted to touch Santa's beard. And I looked her in the eye and said, let's do it this year.
Santa was a guest on Civic Media's Mino and the Mayor show, bringing holiday cheer to listeners yesterday. And he has a surefire way to make sure children are happy.
4 things. 1 they want, 1 they need, 1 to wear, and 1 to read.
And will setting boundaries help you avoid additional holiday stress with the family? Here's Lisa Hale.
Dealing with stress at the holidays is bad enough. There's the hustle and the bustle. But add to it the less than pleasant political conversations that may pop up with extended family and friends, and it can be really tough. Kimberly Johnson of Johnson Counseling says keeping an open mind can help, as can setting boundaries at the start of an event.
If you have somebody that's open and willing to accept what you want to say, my saying is curious, not furious. So be curious, okay, well, you voted for this person. Why? What do you think about this? What about that? Questions, and rather than getting angry and frustrated. And the other thing is that if there is a boundary, set it. We're not talking about this at Christmas. Then I think that you set it and you maintain it.
Johnson appeared on Civic Media's Lean Local with Jim Schmidt. Find it on our Civic Media app or at civicmedia.us.
And with many Wisconsinites hitting the road today, gas prices in the area are around $2.77. I'm Brittany Merlot for WXCO.
The Packers dominate the Saints. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Packers beat the Saints 34-0. Head coach Matt LaFleur.
It's hard to shut out an opponent in this league, and from what I was told, it was the first one this season, so I was really proud of our defense.
Running back Josh Jacobs with a total of over 100 yards of offense and a touchdown.
I tell people all the time I feel like I'm the heartbeat of the team in the sense of I get everybody energized, I get everybody with the right type of mentality that I feel like we need to have to play in the game.
With the win, the Packers have clinched a spot in the playoffs. NBA, some of the Bucks players not happy they won't be playing on Christmas Day, feeling snubbed by the NBA. Last night, the Bucks beat the Bulls 112-91. Chris Middleton with 21 points.
Chris, I thought maybe his best game of the year. Early in the year, we wouldn't have won either game. Now we're not only winning games, we're winning them, with a cushion. I thought defensively, it's maybe one of our best defensive effort.
That's Bucks head coach Doc Rivers. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Francis Ford Coppola is a 5-time Oscar-winning filmmaker. He's also a survivor of polio. The 85-year-old director shared his experience with the disease during an interview with Deadline, warning people about the skepticism for polio vaccines expressed by Trump's incoming Health and Human Services Secretary, Robert Kennedy. The Godfather creator says it was his father who saved his life when he contracted polio at a young age and actually lost the use of his legs for 10 days. Coppola's father refused to believe that his son should stay bedridden while dealing with the illness, which was the common belief of how to combat polio at the time. Instead, Carmine Coppola sought a second opinion and found a different approach that suggested mild exercise for those that contracted the disease. Francis Ford praised the vaccine, which came along a couple years later, and says he has never forgotten memories of children in iron lungs calling for their parents. Interesting. Side note, Coppola's father was a composer who created music for many of his son's award-winning films. In trying to make Christmas sexy news, Kim Kardashian has put out a new music video. The reality TV personality released a video under her brother-in-law Travis Barker's label. She used a breathy version of her own rendition of Santa Baby, one of the worst Christmas songs ever, and put images of herself crawling through a party in a blonde wig and skin-colored jeggings. I'm not sure if she realizes it either, but her cleavage was totally showing. I'm sure she's going to give that editor an earful. In the video, there's a donkey, Mary and Joseph, people fighting, people raking money, and a bonfire while people play Twister. For what seems like an eternity, Kim crawls through the chaos with her own singing as a backdrop until she finally stops between Santa's legs and looks up to find it's really Macaulay Culkin. The only good thing about the video is that her singing mercifully stops along with the music about midway through, so it's just her crawling with weird images. It's just something you have to see for yourself, folks. You can check it out free on YouTube, but you'll still want your money back. Sequels led the way at last weekend's domestic box office. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 led the way with $62 million and was followed up by Mufasa, the Lion King prequel, which finished with a disappointing $35 million at the U.S. box office, despite playing on 400 more screens than Sonic. Despite grabbing second place in the U.S., Mufasa was number one globally with a take of $122 million. Finishing in third place was the juggernaut Wicked, which pulled in $13.5 million at the box office, putting its grand total domestically at about $400 million. Wicked leapfrogged Moana 2, which finished in fourth place with $13.1 million at the box office. The borderline religious film Homestead finished in fifth place with $6.6 million, despite not so great reviews. The Brutalist, a 3.5-hour film that actually has an intermission, opened in limited release and pulled in $266,000, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it was only on 4 screens. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
A mix of clouds and sunshine today. We'll get to around 28 for a high this afternoon. Tonight will be partly to mostly cloudy, some patchy fog after midnight, and with temperatures in the teens, we could see some of that fog frost on the roads and surfaces. On Christmas Day, cloudy with a high in the low 30s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Right now, it's 22.
That's your WXCO Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at bullfallsradio.com. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.